Hey crafty friends! Today I have a little special project I am working on, and I apologize. Just realized my camera was not recording, so it's a good thing I caught it before I got all the way finished with this little project. But I am doing a challenge put out by Scrappingcarol. It's her 1,000 subscribers challenge, and if I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the description of this little project. But anyway, she is doing a challenge in which you have to create a 5.5 by 7.5 inch creation from chipboard. And so I'm going to show you, I guess, the process for how my entry, what my entry is going to be. And like I said, I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the description. At any rate, what I did is I just took a 12 by 12 sheet of chipboard and I cut it down to 5.5 by 7.5, and then I gessoed the whole thing. And what I'm doing now is I have a set of napkins that I got at, I believe it was the Dollar Tree. I don't happen to have the package. There it is. So it's these napkins right here, and I just took it apart, peeled these are 1 ply or 2 ply, so I peeled the plain white piece of tissue off and tore it down so that it just covers the outside of this chipboard. Because what I'm going to do is lay something else over the top of it, and what I have is this is 2 pieces of junk mail. I got these little postcard ads, and I'm doing a Waste Not Wednesday video tomorrow that uses these same things to create a tag. At any rate, I used 2 of these and taped them together with some of the HVAC metal tape, and then I ran it through my Cuttlebug using the Tim Holtz Alterations embossing folder. And so I have something like this. And this, my entry is going to be oriented landscape versus portrait. So that's why it's this way. Also, I had to do it that way because this size piece of cardstock would not fit through the Cuttlebug and give me a really good impression for what I want to do. So it's going to lay something like that when I'm finished with it. So I took the napkin and I Mod Podged it to the front of my piece of chipboard, and I'm going to kind of whitewash it because I don't want these colors to take away from it, because I have all of this wonderful vintagey looking stuff that I'm going to use on top of my piece of chipboard. So it's going to be kind of like a mixed media type thing. So now that this has dried, obviously, since I forgot to double check my camera, so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of gesso. Let me rinse out my brush here. And I'm just going to whitewash a little bit because I don't want it to be this bright. Although I do like it. It's a very pretty napkin. So I'm just going to very lightly cover this so that you can just barely make out the napkin in the background. So this is more or less like a dry brush over that napkin. And I don't mind that it has all the little, I don't know if you can see the little wrinkles in the napkin. I think that's okay for what I'm doing, because I'm going to cover most of it up. I just didn't want to see, you know, plain chipboard behind my metal piece or faux metal piece. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm also going to just sort of do the same thing and kind of tone down the metal tape, because I don't want the whole thing super shiny. And I'm going to play with some alcohol inks and stuff anyway with it, but I just want to tone it down just a little. All right. Now I'm going to use some of my homemade alcohol inks on this. So these are my homemade alcohol inks. I made them using Bic markers and alcohol, and these bottles I got at the Dollar Tree, and I think I cleared them out of all their pink and purple ones. They had a lot that were broken or missing pieces, so I spent 30 minutes trying to make sure I had ones that worked and all the pieces. So, and what I have is Sunset Orange, a purple color, and a Misty Sky. And I think the Misty Sky is a mixture of two different colors of markers. I think it was like a misty blue and a sky blue. So I want to see what this is going to look like. I should have my spray box. So I know you guys can't see this, but this is my spray box right here. And I'm just going to spray some of my homemade inks. Move my scissors. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Ooh, yeah, I like that a lot. Just to give it a kind of a Victorian vintagey type of look. It's kind of a milky, vintagey kind of thing. So let me dry that off. All right, be careful. This is hot because it is metal, but this is now what it looks like. It's very pretty. And I think I'm going to grab some of my Tim Holtz Distress ink and kind of distress the edges a bit. So one moment while I grab that. And actually, what I decided to use, since this is metal, I'm not sure how the Tim Holtz will hold up onto it. So I'm going to use some StazOn in Timber Brown, because I think that'll go really nice. Let me grab a piece of felt, or a piece of foam. I don't want to take a chance of messing up my craft mat here. And just some, this is just some scrap felt I have laying around. And I'm just going to ink the edges of my metal plate. And I like this Timber Brown because it's got a pinkish hue to it, so it'll go really well with this design I'm after. I really love to play with this metal tape. I have this affinity for metal stuff, so I like it a lot. And I like the StazOn because it's a fast drying ink. So it really grips stuff. Alright, so I think I'm just playing. Don't mind me. Very romantic looking. Oh, you know what? Let me see what happens. See what that looks like. Oh yeah, I like that. But I think I'm going to grab my Tattered Angel spray and just kind of give that a quick spritz. Alright, I have some woven burlap and some stone that I think I'm going to spray this chipboard piece with. I need a bigger spray box. I have one. It's just elsewhere at the moment. Yeah, like that. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to spray it with some stone. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to take my little felt pad here and just kind of do some swirly-do. Alright, let me dry that off. Okay, so that looks good. Let's see. Oh yes, very nice. Alright, so now I have some thingamajigs. So I have some thingamajigs. And by thingamajigs, I mean I have a lot of fun little embellishments that I want to put on here. First, I think I want to put this little swirly-do in black rhinestones. And I believe these are by Recollections from their Halloween stuff. The only thing I don't like about these little swirly-doos is they're very hard to get off of here and put back into shape. If you know what I mean. So I'm probably totally destroying this one. We'll see. Yeah, I did. It's fine. So I think I'm just going to pull it apart and kind of set it however I want it. There you are. Have a runaway rhinestone. If anybody has a tip on how to use these things without them getting all funky-fied while trying to get them off the sheet, that would be awesome if you could share. Because I'm not real good at it. Because I had this all planned out in my head. And now it's totally changed. But that's alright. That's the fun part of crafting. Changing your mind. Okay, almost there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. These crazy little rhinestones keep falling off. Anyway, all right, so what I have is, I just kind of tore that bad boy all kinds of apart and made kind of my own little swirly-do. Then I have some of my homemade roses that I made. I'll see if I can do a tutorial on how I made these, because these are a lot of fun. I love those. So I also have this feather, and it's plastic. It looks like metal. It's kind of silvery and glittery. But this, I believe, was a Christmas decoration from Hobby Lobby in 2012. That's how long it's been around. And this was in some of my mother's stash. So I thought this is so up her alley, this color palette and these kind of blingy things and everything. So I thought I would pay homage to my mom. So I think I'm just going to glue that down just like that. So before I glue that down, I should probably glue down this. Yeah. So let me put some, let's do some glossy accent. Oh, you know what? I have Eileen's clear gel tacky glue handy, so I'll just use that. Okay. And probably helps if I turn it the right way and have all my words and stuff go in the right direction, huh? Alright. Gluing it down. There we go. I love Eileen's tacky glue. I think it's like the best stuff in the world. You can do so much with it. I really like the Eileen's Tack It Over and Over. I'll have a little tutorial on what I do with that, because that's a lot of fun. Make your own glue dots. Where's my... Now I have glue all over my fingers. Alright. Uh-oh. Did you see that? I just wiped my fingers on my little rosettes. Oh well. That's a-okay. Alright. Now for the glossy accents. Whatever that is. Need to clean my stick pin. It's getting a little overly accented. Haha. Alright, and all I'm going to do is trace this, the vein in this feather all the way down with my glossy accents. And then I'm going to just stick it down. And we'll see how well that works. Alright. I also want to put one of these beautiful little roses You know what? I think I also want to add like a feather, a real feather. I think I have some white feathers around here. That would be kind of awesome. So let me grab my feathers. All right, you might remember these from my, no, I didn't use them on my carousel. I was going to and decided against it, so I did not use them. But I think I will use them here because they are so pretty. These are just kind of whimsical. I like them. I have this crazy glue bubble. All right. This bottle of glossy accents is almost giving up the ghost. I'm just taking some feathers and kind of sticking them around this little rose that I did. And that feather wants to go the opposite direction. It's alright, huh? Let him do what he wants. The feather is the boss. These feathers are kind of all stuck together here. There we go. Need my pokey tool to get this feather in there. Get in there. I'm just sticking these feathers between the layers of my little rose that I made. I think I'm actually going to turn him around since he wants to go funky. We're going to allow him to, but in a controlled sort of way. Alright, so far we have this. I think it's coming along just swimmingly. Alright. Going to put some little roses here on the end of this feather. Get it nice and smushed. Probably should have used hot glue. We shall see. I may have to rip that off and do some hot glue. All right, and now I have this beautiful key that I got in the 50-cent bin at Michael's. And I'm just going to lay this key across the feather. And actually, I think I am going to grab some hot glue because I don't think that Glossy Accents is going to work. So, let me heat up the glue gun. Okay, so my heat gun is now hot, and I grabbed some of my Distress inks in Victorian Velvet, Sponge Sugar, Seedless Preserves, and Aged Mahogany because I really like those colors. They're pinky brownish colors and it'll go really well on this project. So I ended up having to rip off my rose here and readjust my little feathers. But anyway, it looks better. And I am not going to have to take off my little feather filigree thingy because in the time it took for my hot glue gun to heat up, the Glossy Accents went ahead and dried, but I am going to use hot glue on my key. So, just want to figure out, I think I'm going to take some of my Aged Mahogany and distress the key just a bit, because it is got a whole lot of silver going on. What I may also do is use this and see what it looks like on the feather. Oh yeah, it'll give it a nice pinkish hue. I think I will do that. Like that. And I'm getting glitter on my ink pad, but that's alright. I'll pick it off later. Alright, so I'm just kind of highlighting or low lighting, however you want to call it, my little feather embellishment here. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this key, just giving it kind of a pinkish hue. I thought I grabbed my walnut stain, but I didn't, so that's okay. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just rubbing it with the Distress ink. So now it's got kind of a pinkish tint to it. And I wanted to, should have done this before, but I didn't. I wanted to kind of distress the edge of my little chipboard piece with some pink, or it's Aged Mahogany, so. And I had a thought while I was waiting on my glue gun. I have some vintage lace trim that I think I'm going to add around the bottom edge of this. And I just got some pink on my feather. So we'll just go with it. Alright. See what a little Seedless Preserves does to it. And I forgot to grab my little foam thingy, so it's not as contrast as I wanted, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to glue my key real quick. Give that a second. And I'm also going to glue down my little roses. Like so. Alright, and I have these little, these are called crystal stickers. And they're by Mark Richards. And I think I got these at Tuesday Morning. There was a whole bunch of them just kind of bundled together. So, and they're kind of this purpley color. And I think they'll go just marvelously on here. I'm going to have to hot glue them down. Yes, I will. You never can tell about those little glue pieces on them. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think I just got too much glue on there. Got feathers everywhere. Okay, so there's that part. Really, really like that. All right, let me find my vintage lace. Okay, so I have two types, and I don't know which one looks best. So there's the two kinds. So let me just see. I may spray these. Oh wow, that's really pretty. I think this is going to be a difficult decision. I think I like the bigger one better. I think that's the one I'm going to go with. Alright, and because I didn't do this before, I'm going to have to pull up my little metal piece. If it will come up. To see if I can slide this up underneath there. Oh, and that just popped loose my feather. Oh well. Live and learn, right? I don't know how I feel about it yet. Alright, so I'm going to call that a no. And I'll use that piece of lace on some other project, since I got it all smeary with colors. All right. Sorry about that. I moved my light. And then I forgot to move it back. So instead, I'm just going to take my glue gun and glue that back down. Ouch. That's hot. But I do have some beads. I may just put some beads on there. And since my feather came loose, I'm going to glue it. Wow, I'm having all sorts of difficulties. All right, let's try that. And because the hot glue did not hold the key, maybe I need some E6000. I just don't like using that stuff because it's so stinky. So we'll give that a bit. Maybe. Leave it alone, Elizabeth. Leave it alone. Okay. Since my lace isn't going to work, I'm going to grab my bead trim and see what happens with that. Alright, so this is called Snow and Ice bead trim. If you remember my carousel project, I used this Christmas garland. So let's see what that looks like around the edge of this. Oh yes, that is much better. I do like that a lot. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to be very careful and just get a tiny line of glue hot glue that is, and set this in there. And hope I don't burn the crap out of my fingers. And I apologize if my big head is in the way. Guess I better put the lid on that. I'm in a weird, crafty, unorganized, crazy mood today. I don't know what's up with that. Instead of Manic Monday, I guess it's Manic Tuesday? Maybe? Alright, so I'm just hot gluing this trim along the edge of the chipboard. Very close to the metal. Get out of there. Embossed piece. And because my feather is glued down, I'm going to have to cut the trim right. Okay, so my video crapped out on me because apparently I did not have enough memory on my phone because I had a couple other videos stored in there. So I do apologize that you did not get to see me finish the entry for Scrappingcarol, her challenge, but I did want to show you the finished product. So what I did, what you did not see, is I went ahead and I hot glued this beaded trim around the edge, added a couple of more of the paper roses that I made, and I created this little tag that says "Fly toward your dreams on butterfly wings," because part of the challenge was to include an inspirational saying, and because it has to do with butterflies, I cut out this little butterfly using my Paper Studio butterfly stamp or punch. So I was finally able to get the key glued down with my, it's not E6000, it is craft glue made by Goop. So I love this stuff. It seems to hold a little bit better than the E6000. But anyway, I did want to show you the final product. I also kind of just misted the whole thing with my gold Tattered Angels spray and used some pink stickles just in different places, and you can't really see them, but there are some little pink stickle dots that I did, and rubbed some pink stickles on the feather in the background. So this is my finished product for the Scrappingcarol 5.5 by 7.5 chipboard challenge. So I really hope she likes it, and I will be looking forward to seeing all the other entries and see what she thinks about it. So that's all for now. So hope you all have a great day. Feel free to like and subscribe. You can also check out my blog at bbsbutterfly.blogspot.com. You can also search for BB's Butterfly on Facebook. I've started a Facebook group, and it is an open group, so feel free to jump in there. And if there's anything special you want to see, then just let me know, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.